What is going on, guys? Hedge funds, raking in a $3.6 billion quarter two. This is the world we live in, the Fiat Legacy monetary system we live in, the Titanic slowly slipping under the waves, the frog in the boiling pot scenario, and they are battling over commercial real estate. There's a bunch of articles in Reuters, Wall Street Journal here in the last day or so, talking about the hedge funds battling over embattled commercial real estate, picking up assets that are cratering, quite honestly. And there's a lot of just analysts and traders and experts saying that that's only going to continue. And why? Why would you put your money? Why would you put your hard-earned time and energy, which you store in a container, which is money? Why would you put that with a bunch of hedge funds that are going after real estate that is going to crater? We're continuing to raise rates, things of that nature. What are we doing here? Well, again, when people go to ETFs, they go to pensions, they go to endowments, they go to 401ks, 529s, hedge funds, generally people that want other people to manage their money for whatever reason. It's they don't have time. Maybe they're wealthy, like a hedge fund. They don't have time. They just want to like diversify. Maybe they don't know that much. Maybe they're fifth generation or 10th generation. And they just want like other people to do it for them, and they really don't know that much. Maybe they're in a 529 or 401k, and again, they're the average person, middle class, and the poor, and they don't know any better either. And they aren't market experts, and they don't study investing in the vocabulary of finance and investing. These are risky plays. Right, the very nature of hedge fund is to take some risk, but also hedge your position. Right. This is what is so risky though about not understanding what's happening though. Whether you're in a 529 or 401k or some type of retirement vehicle, I guess we'll say, some long-term investing vehicle, when you really have no idea what's going on. When you don't speak the language, it's dangerous to go to a country and not know any of the language there either. It's tough. And that's the same thing when you are investing and you're trusting someone else with your wealth, with your time and energy, with your retirement, with your future, and you know nothing. You have no financial vocabulary. You have no idea what you're talking about, what they're talking about. They can just hoodwink you. They can just say whatever they want, and you'll just, yeah, okay, yep, sure, Mr. Financial Planner, sure, Mr. or Mrs. Hedge Fund. This is it's comical that this stuff happened in 2022, all this crazy chaos, and yet here we are, hedge funds just raking in the money again because they have massive connections, right? They have massive marketing that they do through word of mouth and networks, and it's not what you know, it's who you know, which is one of the biggest pieces of advice I could give anyone in life. It's not what you know. It's not what you learn in 7th grade science class that's going to get you ahead in life. It's who you know. Do you know the right people to get the job? Do you know the right person as an entrepreneur to get that funding that you need? That is the most important thing. And I'm not the best person in the world at it. I have my own limitations. We all have our own limitations. I have a family with 4 children. And my big calling in life is to educate other people on the basics of finance, the basics of investing, all the things I've done in my life to become very successful in the last 14 years since I left formal college and started my real education, which was the most rewarding thing: starting businesses, being an entrepreneur, having employees, investing myself, and making good money because I was smart with what I did. And I speak the language of an investor. I speak the language of an entrepreneur. I speak the language of employees, and knowing how to manage people, and knowing how to manage investments, and knowing how to manage risk, which is one of the most important things as well. Andy Tanner talks about the 4 pillars of investing, which are fundamental analysis, technical analysis, cash flow, and risk management. Risk management being the biggest pillar. If you can't manage risk, which we are in a massive risk scenario going forward, if you have watched our channel at any length at all, or read our blog at all, which the description has the wow, it's cool lighting in the back. And we're on the lake right now, and that's probably about 5-8 miles away down there. And wow, very cool. So, well, God's bowling up there. He's not too happy about what's going on. All these people not taking their time and energy seriously and storing it in a vehicle that saves them in the long term. Instead, it destroys their wealth and their time and energy long term. That's the scary part. And that's what the big guy ain't happy about. That's what I'm not happy about. That's what allows the unproductive class to be more unproductive every single day and steal more of your time and energy away. That's the biggest thing. And that's sort of my 4 children. My biggest thing is to give them the right financial foundation, the right financial education that they can go on and spread that, multiply that out, and we can get more people on a Bitcoin standard. Saving in the hardest asset known to man, in something that increases your asset base over time, and increases your wealth over time, and lowers your purchasing, or increases your purchasing power and lowers your cost of living. instead of this fiat world, which we have all the data to show, it literally lowers your living standard and it raises your cost of living. We gave that example the other day about inflation versus deflation. If we can get everyone into a world with a neutral money that captures deflation for the average person, for the 99%, for the middle class and the poor, Bitcoin is money for the poor and middle class. The fiat legacy system, government-run currencies, CBDCs that we're getting now, slavery coins, these are currencies for the 1,000th of 1%. They are for the central bankers, for the people at the top pulling the strings and enslaving people. That is it. If you like that, if you want more of that, then by all means go ahead, get a CBDC on your plate, use government currencies more, use the dollar, use the peso, use the yen, use the bolivar, until you start understanding that what we are talking about, what we are saying is breaking your mind in half. And as Alvin Toffler said decades ago, the people that will be successful in the future will be the people that can learn, unlearn, and then relearn. I went through this process. I am not a genius. I went through this process over the last 14 years. I went through this process and had to learn things in formal school, unlearn them over the last 15 years, and relearn what was actually happening. And once you understand this process, then things start to become very, very clear. So the hedge funds are going to continue doing what they're doing. They're going to continue taking your money, taking your fees, the wealthy. They're doing that to you. And then for the middle class and the poor, you're going to have the 401k, the 529s, the ETFs, the pensions, the endowments, all this garbage. They're going to create more programs. They're going to create more entities, PPP, stimulus, they're going to create all this extra garbage for you. And you're just going to get poorer and poorer. And people wonder why they get poorer and poorer. If these things are so great, wouldn't you all become wealthy? Wouldn't every person, wouldn't all the people that are 50 and 60 and up, wouldn't they have millions and millions and millions in their 401ks? But we know because I've done a video on this, breaking this down and how Bitcoin would save Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security and the 401ks. I did a video on this that we know the average person, the average 401k has 133 grand in it, and the median has like 33 grand or 36 grand. That means after 50 years of this experiment, 1973 to now, 2023, 50 years of this experiment, the average, that includes the high net worth people, the average has 133 grand in it. And if you're just living very modestly at poverty level, basically at $30,000 a year, which I believe poverty level is like 25 to 30 grand a year, you would last, 30, 4 or 5, 6 years on that, on your 401k. And some say, well, yeah, Social Security and stuff like that. Okay, cool. We're going to make $2 grand a month, a grand or two a month from Social Security, and you'll have another grand or two a month, $2 grand a month from that. So you're going to be living off, and then your 401k is gone eventually after a few years, and then you're living off a couple grand a month. And by the way, prices continue going up the entire time. So you're going to be living off of what, $2 grand a month, $2,200 a month eventually. So this is the clown world we're entering, and people don't want to make changes. They won't allocate 1% or 5% of their portfolio to something else that can give them outsized reward. They don't even do it. They don't think about it. They don't want to do it because they're scared. They'd rather, I was just reading in the Bible, again, in Exodus, the Egyptian people drove out the Israeli people, and God said, hey, we're going to leave and we're going to move. I'm going to move you out. I'm going to protect you. And then they left, and then they were at this Red Sea, and then the Israelites looked back, and the Egyptians were coming. The Pharaoh said, I'm not doing this. We're getting these people back. We just lost our slaves. And the Israeli people who were complaining the entire time, they'd go through bouts of faith, and then they'd complain, have fear, and they'd be like, Moses, why did you do this? Why did you do this? You should have just left us there. It's better to offer we're just slaves to the Egyptians. At least we'd have had some food and water. Instead of having faith and saying, no, I'm going for truth. I'm going for freedom, and I have faith, and I trust that God will save me. God will protect me. And God can be anything. If you're not religious, God can be anything. God can be truth. God is truth, right? Religious people believe in truth, that God is truth and truth is God, and non-religious people believe that truth is truth. So we can kind of see the similarities here. So this is what's important. When you are going to accept quiet serfdom and quiet slavery, which is CBDCs, which is most of the Western world, just accepting what government tells me, and I just do whatever, and even though I have my freedom, whatever, at least I got my football on, my hockey's on, my fantasy sports, the Olympics are on every 2 years, like, woo, you got my Kardashians and the Bachelors on. This is the problem. You get sucked into this false sense of security, and eventually, poof, it's gone. So this is the wake-up call. This is a wake-up call right now. Please share this out. The algorithm hates truth. Can't stand it. Cannot stand it. And we know truth is truth. So please share it out, because the truth will spread, the truth will win, the truth will set you free. Appreciate you coming to my TED Talk. Trust but verify everything I say. Question everything with boldness, even the existence of God himself. And this is not financial advice. This is freedom advice. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.